This is a perfect show for November. Hello, annyeonghaseyo. I'm Sean Rage. Welcome to Cinemarea, where we only talk about South Korean movies and dramas. You know, sometimes we go through difficult times, and we need something that keeps us alive. Something that keeps us going, something that we can get some energy from for the everyday boring shit that we have to go through. Nowadays, I'm having a pretty difficult time, but I stumbled upon something fantastic that did just that for me. And that is today's topic, the 2018 drama series My Mister or 나의 아저씨. The show stars Sun-kyun, who I love. He was absolutely fantastic in Hard Day and in Parasite and everywhere basically. Ji-eun, who you might better know by the name of IU. Kim Young-min is here. Most recently I saw him in The World of the Married. Hae-joon is here, who was absolutely fantastic in the same show. Nara is here. She was awesome in Sky Castle. Nemari. You know what I mean, right? Kwon is here. She was awesome in Itaewon Class. So many great actors. Sun-kyun plays a middle-aged office worker, and even though he's in a pretty good position, he feels stuck. And he's not wrong. He's a very decent guy, but he keeps his emotions to himself, and you can tell that something's eating him up inside. And he doesn't even know that his wife cheats on him with Kim Young-min's character, who happens to be his higher-up at the company. A young girl starts to do temporary work there, and she's very silent, she's unnoticeable, but as the show goes along, her and Sun-kyun start to get really close to each other, because in a way, they're very much alike, even though they're completely different. It seems like the fact that they've met changes their lives forever. Now, this may seem like My Mister is a love story, but it's not. Or is it? I'm not gonna tell, but I can say this. I was very much surprised how much I actually enjoyed this show, for a variety of reasons. So let's dive in. One of my favorite aspects of My Mister was that it's not just about the two main characters. In fact, it's about the family of Sang-yoon's character. He has two brothers played by Park Ho-sun and Sae-byeok, and it's just as much about their lives as it is about the main two. The show has incredibly rich, well-rounded characters with very satisfying character arcs. The relationship between them is incredibly written and fantastically acted, and this package makes My Mister a truly heartwarming experience to watch. It's a drama in every sense of the word. You'll be laughing and crying along with the characters, you'll be rooting for them, or hate them depending on whom we're talking about. And even though the show moves at a moderate pace, it never gets boring because every minute is filled with quality material. Amazing. Like I mentioned, this is a perfect show for November. One, because most of it takes place in winter. I know November is not winter, but it's pretty close. And two, the show has a sort of bittersweet feeling to it. I don't know about you guys, but when autumn comes, I tend to be a lot more quiet and introverted, and the main characters are also like that. The whole mood of the show is like that. I cannot even imagine watching this show during summertime, but it's like a cup of hot tea on a cold November evening. It warms your heart and soul. I think it's safe to say that this is the best performance I've ever seen from Sun-kyun, and that is something because he's always great. At first glance, his character seems to be flawless, but he's actually really flawed because he's not able to communicate what's in his heart, and when he's walking home alone at night, he constantly breaks. He's actually on the verge of giving up, but then comes IU's character, who I absolutely hated for the first few episodes. She came across as a little opportunistic bitch who would do anything for money. Even her getting close to Sun-kyun's character was because of a hidden agenda, while Sun-kyun was sincere and honest. But later we get to know a lot of things about her, and we understand why she is the way she is. And her arc in the show is immensely satisfying. She learns and grows a lot throughout the show, and IU's acting was just absolutely on point. I'm trying to be really vague here because there are so many sides to her character. If you haven't seen the show yet, go watch it and experience it for yourself. But like I said, My Mister is not just about the two main characters, and one of my absolute favorites was the youngest brother played by Sae-byeok. He used to be a film director, but he has lost his job, and together with the oldest brother, he inherits a cleaning company from a friend, which is quite humiliating for him at first, but then watch the show. Anyway, Sae-byeok's acting was an absolute highlight for me. He played someone who's cold and rigid on the outside, but deeply caring and loving on the inside. It was awesome. So overall, I would say that My Mister is not just about one thing. It's not just about an older man meeting a younger woman and we watch their relationship evolve. It's also about community, caring for each other, the importance of family, the importance of having great people by your side. But it's also about the strength that's in us with which we are able to change our lives for the better. It's really inspiring actually, while also being a lot of fun. Yeah, there's some great humor in here too. Sometimes I laughed really hard. Honestly, the only problem I have with My Mister is the first two episodes. The way the show started out was not intriguing at all. A lot of time was spent at the company where the main character works at. It started out really small, very few locations. I was like, God, if this is gonna keep being like this, I'm gonna have a really hard time. It is needed. The show builds on this foundation. It's just that the execution wasn't really good. At least, I didn't find it to be really good. Other than that, it was amazing. Now here's the thing. When it comes to K-dramas, nothing can beat Mr. Sunshine for me, as of yet. But the last episode there wasn't really satisfying, so I gave the show 90%. If I'm looking at my Mister and judging it by its own merits, I'm gonna have to give this one 95%. Overall, I still like Mr. Sunshine better, but it's like comparing apples and oranges, you know what I mean? Anyway, if you feel like watching a great drama with great characters, with great actors, with a taste of autumn and winter, you can't go wrong with this one. Highly, highly recommend it. Oh, and in one of the episodes, Sun-kyun's character is at the movie theater and he's watching Peppermint Candy. 박하사탕을 보고 있어요. A great Korean actor watching a great Korean movie in a great Korean drama. What more do you need? That's all for today. Thank you all very, very much for watching. Like and subscribe. 이 영상 좋아하면 구독해주세요. 영상 봐주셔서 감사합니다. See you all very soon. 다음 시간에 만나요. Bye!